and he will be starting soon. I think Reimer has got back in his car. Away goes Z-Milk, a very good start. Reimer caught a little bit off guard. Rujoff will hound him into turn one. It's Urban again fighting with SP. SP way out of position, and Urban takes the spot into fourth place. Goes the Mercedes-Benz. SP falls back and needs to watch out. Oh, it's Z. Oh, no. Crap. So SP way out of position, and trying to go down the inside was Leisig, and trying to go around the outside was Pontiac Bandit. Pontiac Bandit is through, but as SP is getting out of the way of the Red Bull, he closes the door and into the wall for both him and Leisig. They're both out, and we are on safety car number 3.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Oh.
Unbelievable.
Oh, the storyline is great, but the gut-wrenching pain of sitting through a race like this is not so great. You know what I mean? So, Leisig now out of the points, big time in the first 2 races. Meanwhile, Reimer, points leader in 3rd place, gonna take home decent points. Had a decent finish in the sprint tonight as well. Oh, it's big. And I was on board with SP. He was just watching to the left because it was 3 wide. Leisig trying to go down the inside, but Pontiac Bandit was going out around the outside. So SP sees the Red Bull, scooches over, doesn't realize he's got a McLaren on his right. They're both taken out. Totally understandable accident, but man, big one.
I got a message from Anyote. He said, "Hey, you guys could just call tonight if you want." Oh.
I have to. I want to watch the whole season.
Yeah, we got to
right?
see how this plays out, you know.
Look, I say this every time. So look, for anybody who made it this far, like on the rewatch, if you're watching it tomorrow night and you made it to this point, you've got to suffer, right? Like,
Yep.
suffering is important. If you don't suffer, you can't enjoy the moments that are good. If life is all ice cream and sprinkles, right, you're gonna get sick of that shit.
It's true. And
You need to go ahead.
well, and I was just gonna say, you know, I just saw that Reimer's car is not ghosted, so he must be back driving, and he's really only missed 1 racing lap this whole past 20 minutes. So,
Yeah, he's only missed 1 racing lap,
he's in good shape.
and his AI did just fine. Let Owa through, but that's not bad. Oh, rough. It's a rough one. It's just, it must be said, there's no getting around it.
It's just one of those nights, you know.
Yeah. Because you need it. Like, I tell this story all the time. We don't have AC out here in the backwoods of Maine, right? Because it's only hot for 1 month out of the year.
Yeah.
But we are right in the middle of that really hot month, man, and it actually is very painful. Like, before the race, I was putting the ice packs on my head to
Really?
cool off a little bit. Yeah, it's bad right now. But man, do you know how good a cold shower feels when you have just
Yep.
been suffering all day? It is the greatest. Like,
It's one of the best things.
but in order to get that moment, you have to suffer for it.
Yep.
And I think it ends up being worth it in the end.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yep.
I don't mind nights like tonight. You just call it how it is. It's a rough one tonight, and it'll make the next really good one that much sweeter.
So we got Komakopa in the chat. He said NLC's boss is calling. He's late at work already.
Poor NLC. driving with us in from Italy, Oh man,
So
and in the pits in last place at the moment,
yeah,
right?
and I'm
You're
gonna
gonna be
bring up.
late for work.
Well, I'm bringing up tires because the rain stopped. I can see a dry line forming. NLC and Hemphead have both fit slicks.
Really?
So
Oh man, the Williams garage might have a smart thing going on right here.
yeah,
And Hemphead on hards with 19 laps to go. If this is the right call, he's in and on tires that go to the finish, maybe. And it is drying very quickly.
it's very
It
yeah.
is
It's
drying.
I'd say now's the time to get off those intermediates.
Yeah.
Even if you're Z Milk or Reimer, you gotta cut. You gotta just cut your loss and come in right now.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It's time. Will the safety car be in? If safety car is going to be one more lap, so go. Go right now. And everybody who doesn't pit will be behind you later on. You don't
Yep,
have to
yep,
worry about that.
exactly.
So Hemphead and NLC, by virtue of going in a
Yep.
lap early, gonna get a huge boost right now.
So here we go.
And
Z Milk,
Hemphead,
Owa, Reimer,
you know,
Rujoff. The
the
top,
whole, yeah,
yep,
everybody.
the whole grid is coming in. So Hemphead and NLC are fit to be leading this race.
Oh, Urban's gonna get messed up. There he is, double stacking. It's Mercedes, and both of them in the top 5 now punished a little bit. Is Urban? He's gonna lose at least a couple of places.
Oh man, they've just beat Z Milk coming out of the pit lane.
Oh. There it is. The Williams garage outsmarting everybody right there. What a nice
Oh
play.
no, and now Hemphead's or NLC has been disqualified for passing the safety car.
Ouch.
Oh my.
Ouch.
From zero to hero, both NLC and Hemphead.
Wait. Oh, wait. That's actually pretty weird.
They
Did
went
they both pass?
they
That
did.
seems strange.
Yeah, they both went flying past the safety car.
They probably thought it was. Is it red? They probably thought it was a Ferrari.
Oh.
No, it's green. They thought it was an Aston Martin, maybe.
Well, it is an Aston Martin, but it's looks a little bit different than.
Oh man, Williams with that beautiful. Like I was ready to root for Hemphead as he, held on to points there. Oh,
Man,
the Williams garage is so upset right now.
did they just not see it, or
Must have been. I mean, they're in that moment. They're both racing right to get ahead of Z Milk.
Yeah.
They're thinking, "Wow, first place is in the bag. It's mine," and just not watching for it.
so
All
safety
right.
car's in?
Meanwhile, yeah, it's a dry race. On mediums, it's Z-Milk, Owa, Reimer. That's your top 3 at the moment. Z-Milk will take us away, but on hards, it's Rujoff, Johnny Damon in 5th place. That's interesting. Feeney quietly having another good day. May finish on those hards. He's in 6th, and Urban is in 7th. This is an interesting dynamic between the mediums and the hards, because if the mediums have to pit, the hards may be in the best position right now. We'll take it from Reimer on the get-go. Z-Milk is backing everybody up, and there he goes. Owa not caught out. Reimer neither, and Rujoff is away well. Let's go action 6. Feeney very, very close to the Damon. But we'll follow through turn 1, looks like.
Lots of different tire strategies were split here between hards and mediums, so some people taking a gamble, I think, on those mediums going the rest of the way.
Yeah, it's 19 laps. We saw the softs struggle for 6. So, I feel like mediums going 19 just feels a bit long. I'm still action 6 because Feeney very, very tucked underneath that Aston Martin.
And we might see a pass here into 11.
He's got the outside line, but holds the braking line well, and the Aston Martin will hold the place. Looking weird, man, there's no separation between anybody. Oh, such a big deal. Leipzig out again. No fault of his own. He had right to the space. It's just SP. There's too much going on. I don't. It's just the kind of mistake I can see myself making.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally understandable. Feeney now deep again on the brakes, and the Aston Martin missing the apex, and a good switchback from Feeney got the place. Man, that was a nice little move, just the tiniest opening, and Feeney was like, "Yep, I'll put my car in there. Thank you very much."
Yep. Beautiful move from
into
Feeney.
fifth. Yeah, that was fun to watch. The mediums are proving a bit faster, though Rujov is holding on to Reimer. Let's go action 4. Oh, I needed some action, man. Glad we're back into this fight. Z-Milk looking to capitalize. He's in a really good position if these mediums go all the way to the finish. That feels like a big if to me right now.
Man, I'll be ready for some breakfast by the time we get finished up here. Forget mac and cheese. I'm going to need some scrambled eggs or something.
Oh, I forgot about the mac. Told you, stop talking about cheese, man. It gets me hungry. Rujov is keeping in touch, though, slipping a little bit back. Did we get the DRS notification yet?
Not yet.
Go check action. Okay, action 9 is Hayden Rogers got the inside line on Shiesty. May get a double pass because Urban looking a bit slow into the final corner, deep on the brakes, makes the apex, does Hayden, and it's 2 for 1. 2 passes, 1 back straight for the Haas drivers into 7th.
Pretty good move there from Hayden. It looked like Shiesty was going to get the pass on Urban, and then Hayden pulled out, got both of them down into 17.
Both unassisted for DRS. I think Hayden likes to have very little wing on that car, I think. And his sins are deep. They are from downtown, like there's 15 stamps on it because it's from the other side of the planet, you know.
Yeah.
It's a deep, deep sin.
And they're not out of control sins, you know, not like what we've seen, not what you would call a Verstappen sin, you know. They're very they're very controlled on the brakes. He's not running guys out of room into the corner. So I can appreciate
they're
that.
I want to say they're reasonable, right? He's on track and he doesn't seem to be forcing people off too much. We'll see how it shakes out between him and Leipzig. It was a bit shovey there in the wet, but some of these moves are pretty fun to watch. Let's go action 3 as Reimer is approaching the back of the AlphaTauri of Owa, who's having a great race here in Miami. Owa, 2nd place for AlphaTauri right now.
Reimer, Mr. Consistent, he's not put a foot wrong here tonight and is looking like banking some solid points for his championship run.
And if you're going to have a disconnect, you couldn't have asked for a better time to have a disconnect, right?
No, that was a freebie.
All those safety cars. Yeah, very much. Didn't cost him anything, and he's looking like he's fighting back for the place he lost anyways. Man, I want to go action 10. I want to watch action 6, and I want to watch action 4. Let's go action 3. Let's go 3. Reimer looking like a sin down the inside. He does have the move. He's got the inside line for 11. Drifts out and still has Owa. No, falling back is Owa. Reimer into 2nd place. Let's jump back action 5 as Rujov and Feeney fighting over 4th place. And they actually have a lot of company. Johnny Damon and Hayden Rogers just behind.
Yeah, starting to stack up there and form a train behind Feeney.
Yeah. Damon is defending the inside line. Here goes Rujoff on Feeney. The inside line of 17. Still holding the outside is the Alpine. But he needs to be careful because he's off. The other Haas is now fighting as well. He's got Hayden who wants to throw a send. You know he does. Now defending to turn one. Around the outside goes the Alpine. Can he get back around two? He does, but does not have what he needs for three. No, he does. He is ahead. Feeney back in position. Now it's Haas on Haas violence. Oh, very close. Hayden almost into the back of his partner. Does back out a little bit. Meanwhile, the Aston Martin of Johnny watching all this, waiting for an opening.
Yeah, I don't think Hayden expected Rujoff to bleed that much speed off going through 6, and both the Haas's almost made contact there.
Oh man, that Haas side by side. Hayden is through on Rujoff under DRS, and it looks like Damon is trying to follow him through. They're side by side. Damon now forced back around 12. Does he keep his foot in? He does. The Aston Martin is through. Rujoff losing 2 places. A spin from Feeney in the mistake generator is going to cost him big time as car after car gets through. Feeney is now out of this picture. It's Hayden from Johnny, from Rujoff, from Urban, who has been sneaking up on all this action while it's been fighting. Actually, watch out because Urban, I think, going to send into the final turn. He does, very, very deep on the brake. A hard turn. Can Rujoff get the place back? Does not.
Behind
Side. Oh.
Walrus and who was that coming together?
It was an Aston Martin and Rujoff. So again, Walrus trying to get in because everybody's shuffling around. Walrus trying to take advantage of it as well. It's a virtual safety car now.
Oh, so Walrus just kind of sticking. I can't tell if Rujoff did or not. I know Walrus did.
Yeah, Rujoff in the pits getting a wing change. Same with Feeney. He's also getting a change.
Man alive.
It's a crazy amount of action.
Yeah.
Like you can't. You can't shuffle like that quickly and not expect something to happen.
I think there was room there for Walrus. I just don't think it happened so quickly. I don't think Rujoff knew he was on the outside there. And
yeah, it's tough. It does seem
that was like a legitimate incident.
Did they change the indicators?
They did, I think. Yeah.
I think it's less noticeable or something because people seem to be slightly less aware that there's somebody in their blind spot. So I'm noticing 2 big changes to how these races feel right now. And make sure there's no big action going. Actually, let's go 7. We'll talk about that later. Urban fighting with Shiesty, it looks like.
Yeah, Shiesty just getting in front of Urban down that back straightaway. And if Shiesty's mom was here, she's here every week. She missed her son getting a pass in on Urban this week. But it was a good one. We'll see if he can defend now.
I'm really liking the way the DRS zones between 17 and 1 work.
Yeah.
Right, like you fight and then fight back, and then the back and forth between 1, 2, and 3 can be quite exciting. With whoever's on the inside of 3 ultimately being the one to decide there.
So Urban pretty close on the back of Shiesty here now with DRS. He looks like he might get a chance to send one on in 11. Thinks the better of it.
Yeah, it does. It did look like he could have had the send, but little careful on the brake. He did have a pretty big lockup into 17 where he barely made the apex. And oh, Shiesty, oh man, that was a rough exit
Yikes.
out of 16. That's unfortunate. End to the Alfa Romeo's night. Does not bring up a safety car and gifts sixth place to the Mercedes driver. I have to say, Johnny Damon is doing quite well and has been very clean this evening in terms of driving. I think. Oh man, this Hayden Rogers gets a little squirrely on the, on the brakes just to avoid running into the Aston Martin. It looked like Hayden was doing a send, but decided better and had to like really yank the car to get it back under control, and loses a second now. He's trying to chase Johnny Damon back down.
Yeah, gaps forming all throughout the field. We really don't have any major battles going on at this point. Oh, the closest, just trying to keep it within DRS to Reimer.
Yeah. Let's go up. Let's go give Z Milk a little airtime. He's quietly running another very strong race. 2.6 second gap back to Reimer, who is very consistent. Z Milk. Now, if those mediums go to the end, looks like we just had another
Rujoff.
DNF. Yeah,
Rujoff.
Oh, and you know,
Turn 8.
yeah, that the accelerating into the wall there, trying to get a good.
I think he actually lost it in 6, and I'm not sure. I didn't see the whole thing. I did see the caution pop up, and
Okay.
wow, 9 laps to go.
Rough. It's been a rough one. Only 3 safety cars though, and I think 4 is the Miami's typical. And you know, again, it's very tough track, very technical, very unforgiving, right? I think it's like a Canada on steroids a bit, you know.
Yeah.
So Walrus is setting a fastest lap here on lap 20.
And we're already back to racing. I missed it, Drez.
So let's go action 5. I think we're a fight developing between Aston Martin and Haas, and then Feeney's on the back of Barney as well. We'll probably go check that out as well. Actually, let's go. I haven't seen Barney in a while. Aston Martin in the points. Feeney charging up behind, down the back straight, gonna have the outside line. Will be well ahead before the braking zone. And makes the apex beautifully. Feeney looking very smart right now.
Yeah, and while we're
and there goes Barney's back in, letting go, and I think I see that from I've seen that from Barney. Like Barney does not like to be passed, and we'll get on the accelerator a little bit harder.
ouch.
No. And there goes a wheel. He's still in the race for Alfa Romeo, but man, that's rough.
Yeah, and while we were on Feeney, we'll take a look at the replay here just real quick to show you what happened between him and Hayden. And actually, I've just lost it.
I do love when we get a replay. It's it's my favorite bit right now. Action 11 while you're searching.
We're there.
Okay.
All right, here's the replay. We got in the live portion of your screen there on the right-hand side if Walrus is going to make this overtake. But you'll see what happens here. Hayden Rogers right behind, tucked up underneath Feeney, just gets into that right rear and pushes him right around. That's what caused the earlier incident with Feeney dropping out of that top 4.
rough.
Yep. Yeah, it's a rough day in the office when that happens.
This is a good fight between Walrus and Pontiac at the moment. Pontiac taking the line he needs to be defensive, and being he's taking up just the right amount of road to make the guy behind him uncomfortable. I like the way Pontiac defends.
He's a heavy-handed defender, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, he's solid. He's consistent, solid. Not the fastest pace, but man, if you give him a handhold, he'll fight like a wombat
Oh
to
yeah.
hold on to it.
Yep, I've been in a few battles with Pontiac Bandit for sure. And yeah, he'll fight you like you're the third monkey getting on Noah's Ark and it's starting to rain.
That I like. I like that one. There's room for 3 monkeys. Come on. Walrus takes the inside line into 11. Now has plenty of space. The DRS giving him the boost he needed that lap. And can Pontiac fight back? Just watching from the back view of the Aston Martin.
Walrus getting a little squirrely coming through turn 13 there. Might give
Does get
Pontiac just a hint or a taste of coming back.
he got a great exit out of 16 though. Does look like he'll consolidate. All right, so now the questions that we have left. It's lap 23 of 29. Are the mediums starting to feel old? Is Johnny Damon in a good position to win this race? That is a good question. That would also mean that Hayden Irvin and Anyote are going to bring home big points if the mediums are not going to make it.
I don't think they're 8 seconds better than a medium. I would not say that unless we just hit a cliff in the next 2 laps.
Yeah.
But
it's going to need to be a cliff. I'm taking a look at the tires at the moment. They don't look. I'm still getting used to 23's version of what the wear looks like. But they don't look that old to me. And you know what? I'm just going to take a look at best lap. Fastest 31.8 for so 1.5 seconds down on his best is Z-Milk currently on these tires, which are what, 14 laps old?
13
lap old.
Yeah. I would say the crossover is probably closer to 2.5, 3 seconds if I had to guess.
Okay. So it does look like we're gonna make it on the mediums. Mediums seems to have been the absolute right call. Risky, but man, if you know this track and you know how long these mediums are gonna last, it definitely gives you an advantage when it's time to make that call.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's part of the learning curve, right? We're only 2 races into finishing up the second race of this new season in this new game. So that's all knowledge that's going to come later on in the season on how these tires last and how they perform as they get towards the end of a stint.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think, like, if you're really preparing, right, you get out, you get your setup, you do a bunch of simulation races, and then you just go long stints, right? Just to see how long do your softs really last, how long do your mediums really last, and you have to gather that every race, right?
Yeah, it's all knowledge that you're building up, and one race it'll pay off. You know, you'll get that. Oh, I know that these tires will go, like we saw Reimer do last season.
Yeah. A few times where I remember making really outside calls that paid dividends. We do have a little bit of a fight developing. Z-Milk Reimer 1.6, watching that gap
Yeah, it's slowly
just
coming
to
down.
see. Yeah. Reimer may be mounting a late charge. Battery-wise, he definitely is not leaving anything to you know, uh, for later. Z-Milk trying to hold on to a little bit of battery.
Gap now
Dead
down to
batteries all the way around.
1.3.
Yeah. Any other? I mean, our intervals are fairly spread out, and Reimer is pulling back in. He's 1.4 now. Has Z-Milk run his tires a little ragged?
That's a possibility too. I think Reimer, if I had to, if I had to kind of guess, I'd say Reimer might be just a tad bit better than the rest of the field in tire management. Just based off last season, but like we said earlier, all that could change with this new game. With the new game,
Yeah. Hayden Rogers is poking around at the back of Johnny Damon, who's gaining a little bit on Owa. But other than that, we seem to be just in a holding pattern, waiting for a fight to develop. Reimer now 1.3 behind Z-Milk. 1.4, he's just kind of inching around. Let's take a look down the back straight. 1.2, you expect Reimer to be much faster here. 1.1. Kind of stabilized at 1.1 there. Did get a couple of tenths. Then in the twisty bits, you expect Z-Milk to start pulling it back out. 1.2. Oh, through the mistake generator, Reimer got within a second, but down the back straight, 1.2. Man, if he just can get into DRS range. He's getting there though. There it is, within 1 second.
he is getting close. He's this DRS will make or break. I'm sure of it.
He slips back. Oh no, I think he got the detection. There goes the wing. He's got DRS. Should get a couple of tenths now. 0.8. Should be able to hold on here, you would think. He's got just a few turns and he can get the DRS for the back straight. Z-Milk now desperate to pull ahead outside of 1 second. The detection is just past turn 8, so they need to be very bunched up out of turn 8. 1.2, 1.1, and heading to the detection. No DRS this time. Z-Milk just watching not outside of DRS. Z-Milk just getting the space he needs. Let's back up. When we missed a pass, Hayden Rogers did get through on Johnny Damon after all.
And they are inching closer to Owa.
Yeah, Owa's tires I think must be falling off because he's definitely slipping into the clutches of these two hard drivers. Owa gonna struggle to hold on to that podium place now. Hayden crawling all over the back of him.
And we've got a new name here in the chat, Rebel Network, asking about the league. Hey, we've got, we might have spots open in the Pro Tier, but go on Discord, find us, or drop a comment on the Twitch or YouTube feed, and we'll have one of the admins reach out to you.
Hayden Rogers steps out to the inside. He's got the inside line on the AlphaTauri. Oh, trying to slip through is Johnny Damon. There's a bit of wheel touching. Owa will hold on as Johnny struggles to get control of the car. Holds on to 5th. Hayden is through and onto the podium, though he does have a penalty weighing him down.
Yeah, Owa.
Johnny's 1.6 back.
Owa needs to just kind of mind his manners and stick on the gearbox of that Haas to reclaim that podium.
Yeah, let's go action 2 because Reimer is looking very much like he's going to give Z-Milk a hard time. This has to be a tire problem. for Z-Milk. He has led this whole race now down the back straight. It's going to be Reimer into first place. Reimer takes it very convincingly. Man, is it just a tire management battle between these two? What a fantastic race from Reimer if that's the case. Now back on the back straight. Oh, Z-Milk picks up a penalty too. That further solidifies the Mercedes' chance of winning. Oh, man, I think Reimer now has it bagged up. All he's got to do is one more lap. Z-Milk will fight back here. Not quite. Cannot get the send, even with DRS help. We'll watch again into turn one. If Z-Milk can't send into turn one, it's tires.
Yeah.
DRS open.
Reimer's really got to, he's going to have a big mistake here to lose this race. And what a start to season 2 for Reimer.
Huge start for Reimer. 2 back-to-back victories. Meanwhile, the guy that everybody's watching out for, Leisig, 2 bad streaks. He's out in this race. Really not really his fault at all. And the McLaren driver gonna just struggle now. He's 2 races down. He's gonna have to hustle to get caught up. Reimer is on fire.
Reimer, you said maybe doing a little jumping in the box with you Monday night.
Yeah,
you guys may have to talk
out.
About this jump off season 3 he's having.
Yeah, I think so. We're gonna have to do some interviews, I think, soon. Man, so the final lap, Reimer will lead. He's still ahead down the straight, even if Z-Milk does manage to get by. Does not look like he's got enough, even with DRS. He's alongside. They'll be side by side. Trying a little switchback, a bit of contact there. But nobody spun around, and it does look like Reimer will cross the finish line ahead. Z-Milk just behind. Hayden Rogers does have a 3-second penalty with Johnny Damon inside of that. It's going to be Hayden Rogers across the line. Now it's Johnny Damon who will take 3rd place. Owal grabs 5th, and next up it's Urban in the Mercedes. He'll grab 6th place. It's another good points finish for Urban. 2 weeks in a row. Walrus is back after having some struggles in the full race in Silverstone. He takes points. Feeney, a little less exciting of a finish for him, but man, we did get to see him in quite a few battles. He grabs 8th. Pontiac, the workhorse, grabs 9th in points, and Agnote will take home points for AlphaTauri as well. He finishes 10th place.
Hey.
Out is Rujoff, Shiesty, SP, Guzman, Curveball, NLC, and Hemphead. Rough night.
Agnote sticking with it, and sometimes just about keeping your nose clean, like we said earlier. He's got his first points of the season, so good for Agnote.
Man, okay, it was a rough night, first of all, but at the same time, we got some fantastic fights. The sprint race was a banger. The first half of this race was forgettable, but the second half was a lot of fun for the most part. And the storyline developing here, for sure. The big story from season 3, round 1 and round 2 is Mercedes and their star driver Reimer taking away massive points to extend his already massive lead.
Yeah, I mean, we know he's a fast guy, but kind of watching this season, I mean, he's going to be out to over 50 points, 50-point lead.
Yeah.
So these guys have some their work cut out for him to catch him.
I was impressed with Johnny Damon. I thought it was driving was clean, precise, and solid the whole time. Z Milk, man, I must have come down to tires because he just outpaced Reimer the whole time, and then at the very end it fell off. It must have been a tire thing. Owa had a good night. Urban again, another strong finish. Pontiac and Anyote returned to the points. It was another look. It was a rough the first half, but I got excited at the end, so I'm glad I stuck around. And thanks to any of you who stuck around. It's 12:30. what what a late one.
Yeah. Hey, we appreciate you guys sticking around. It was a long show tonight, but hey, sometimes you get long ones, sometimes you get short ones. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, come join us Sunday night for this round two of CCRL versus Limitless. The first one was fun. The second one promises to be as well. And please come back next Wednesday. We love having the chat here, and the races are always there's always something to get excited about.
yep, absolutely. Well, hey, appreciate everyone coming by. On behalf of Dresden, I've been Trackside. We'll see you guys on Sunday for the Limitless tournament. And in the meantime, keep living life to the checkered flag. We'll see you.
Night, everybody.